John David Washington.
Yeah.
He's fucking popping.
Yeah.
He's wearing the fanciest suits. He's hitting us with one-liners.
Yeah.
Cool as shit all the time. I'm like, he needs a name.
International Man of Mystery, John David Washington, doesn't have a name in this movie, and it's just weird. It's weird to be having all of this important exposition and this really kind of heavy movie concepts. By the way, great concepts. We'll get into that later.
The concept is key and is everything, and it's pure gold.
It's so good.
Best thing about the movie.
But to have all these things explained and not have the baseline of even giving him a name or even really knowing who he is.
And what's he about?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 55 of Straight to Series. My name's Connor.
And I'm Ian.
And today we have a Tenet review for you. Tenet, yeah, Tenet review.
Tenet review.
Yeah.
America hasn't seen it yet, which just seems weird
It
that
is
we've
weird.
seen it and we've seen it
first. Nah. We saw it in glorious 35mm.
because that's how Chrissy Boy likes it to be seen.
Speaking of Chrissy Boy, though, have I said our names yet?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I didn't remember that. That's really bad now. I have to do a movie review about Tenet, and I couldn't remember if I said my name yet or not. Anyway, is there anything else we're going to get into today?
We might get into Black Panther.
Yes.
Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away.
Yeah, the news came out today that Chadwick Boseman died at 43 of colon cancer.
Crazy.
Came out of nowhere.
To us, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, to him, it didn't because it was a 4-year battle that no one seemed to know about.
But we'll get into all that later. And then we're going to announce Straight to Series' latest project that we're very excited for.
Very excited.
Came together last minute. And
like literally last minute, just before this podcast.
It may kill us.
It may.
But
it will. I'll be a better person afterwards, I think, though.
Or I'll
a
be
sadder person,
a much
but a better
sadder person. I'm going to have a world-weary view after that. And my worldview is already pretty weary. So this is going to be good. But first,
let's get into Tenet.
So we obviously went to see this movie in 35mm in the Lighthouse Cinema. Shout out to them.
Yeah, and it was nice to be back in the cinema after 5 months of not being in the cinema.
It was.
It was strange though.
Yeah.
Because there's so much social distancing.
Exactly.
It looked like it wasn't sold out. I think it was sold out.
I'm pretty sure it was because they had to have like a few seats in between and everything.
They have to have a row in between.
Yeah.
That's what's horrible. So if you're together, if you buy your tickets together, you can sit beside each other, but then you have at least 2 to 3 seats between the factions of people, and then you have rows empty as well. So it's less than half full.
And Ian and I like to sit together because we like to hold each other's hands during the movie and talk about what we
see. Share popcorn. Like we had our own ones, but I like to sometimes take from yours.
I like to sometimes take from yours too because I know there's a special surprise at the end of each other's popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
And a hand touch.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we do
just 2 straight guys watching a movie together.
Yeah, exactly. Just
shame on you for judging us.
Know? Yeah, exactly. And we turn to each other and make funny faces throughout the movie.
We actually did a lot.
Yeah,
I made fun of this movie a bit.
Yeah, we did. Well, I think after we've talked about it. Oh, you forgot your mask as well.
I did forget my mask, like then everyone so it's like you have to. It's mandatory to wear a mask when you're in the building.
Yeah.
But not in the screen.
Yeah, it's weird.
So I forgot my mask because I'm a dope.
Because I mean, how are you going to eat the popcorn and everything?
Exactly.
You know,
and no one had their mask on once we went into the screen.
Person. Even people who weren't eating were just sitting there maskless.
It's a bit sad to go to see a Christopher Nolan movie that was out one day over here before we seen it. So this was the second day of release.
Yeah.
And to see a half, if not, like I would say 60% of the cinema was empty, the screen.
Yeah.
But it's because of the restrictions, obviously. But it's just weird.
It was weird.
It feels like there's no support for the movie.
It was a packed house, but it wasn't a packed house.
Yeah. So it just looks strange to me.
For such a visual director, it wasn't a very good visual, was it?
It was not at all, and fair play.
Thank you.
Patting yourself on the back there. Yeah, well, to get into the movie...
Yes.
It's a movie.
It is.
It's a movie, and it's complicated, but I don't think it's as complicated as some of the reviews were saying. We went in so cautious and so afraid that we weren't going to understand it. And we were even talking to each other going, surely between the two movie podcasters,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out afterwards.
Yeah. As previously stated on this podcast, I have to understand this movie.
Yeah, and I was so afraid. I was actually so afraid that I was not going to understand it, that I didn't have the brain power. And a lot of people came out saying they didn't understand it. And I must say, I don't think it's that complicated. Once it gets to a certain point in the movie where they go, hey, this is what's happening, and go, okay.
But much like the...
Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It's not... I think Interstellar is actually... Not Interstellar... Actually, that's pretty complicated as well.
Yeah.
But I think Inception has more levels to it, literally.
Exactly.
And also just, like, there's so much information to take in. Tenet explains itself a lot, but at the same time, you could really boil it down to, like, oh, this is what's... like, the strange stuff, the reverse stuff. Yeah. You're like, okay.
This is a spoiler-free review, by the way.
Yeah, but we should really say that. It's a spoiler review.
Yeah, we're not going to...
Spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free review. We're not going to spoil it. We're only going to talk about what's in the trailer. The most spoilerific we're going to get is we're going to talk about what's in the final trailer.
In the final trailer.
Because we didn't watch it before going in. We watched it just there, just to see if we could mention certain things.
Yeah, we're afraid. I didn't even know. Because it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and he can be so guarded when it comes to information.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure if the bad guy was known.
Yeah,
remember I was talking to you the other day, and I was like, did people know that he's the bad guy?
Do people even know that Kenneth Branagh is the bad guy in this movie? And we were like,
do now?
Yeah, well, he is the bad guy.
It's in the trailer.
It is in the trailer. But we avoided the final trailer, and I'm actually glad we did, because a lot of the fun stuff in it is actually in that final trailer. So to you guys, I would recommend... do not watch it.
No, don't watch it. But I want to just finish the point that we left both understanding the movie.
Yeah, I mean, much like the time travel premise, when you reach the end, you understand the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But now I will say, there's certain things I didn't understand, but they were more the foundational things, and that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Because it's just not definite when it comes to certain moments. I'm like, I prefer if they just were like, this is what's happening here. And it's more smaller things that would just make the movie, I would say, better. Just to be clear about, this is who this person is, and that's what that person is. And I don't think they're trying to be guarded with that.
No.
It's just not explained well.
I think this movie feels like it doesn't have to explain itself in certain areas.
Yeah.
And that creates the most confusion. For example...
The smaller things,
the smaller things.
And those small things can be so important when you have all this other heavy information that you're afraid you're not going to understand. And you're like, but why don't I understand the basics?
Exactly.
Like, they just didn't go over the basics with me.
They never set a base. Like, for example, the lead character doesn't have a name in this movie. He's not named.
And we made the point, we were talking about Drive.
Yeah.
And how Ryan Gosling's character is called the driver. Now, if you watch that movie, the guy is literally about staying under the radar.
Yeah.
He barely even talks in the movie. He lives alone.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like low profile. John David Washington, he's fucking popping. He's wearing the fanciest suits. He's hitting us with one-liners. Cool as shit all the time. I'm like, he needs a name.
International man of mystery, John David Washington, doesn't have a name in this movie. And it's just weird. It's weird to be having all of this important exposition, this really kind of heavy movie concepts. By the way, great concepts. We'll get into that later.
The concept is key and is everything, and it's pure gold.
It's so good.
Best thing about the movie.
But to have all these things explained and not have the baseline of even giving him a name or even really knowing who he is.
And what's he about? Like, I can't invest in him if I don't know. I don't need to know his name, but what the fuck's he about?
Exactly.
Like, he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
He's good at his job.
Like the character.
Okay, I can roll with that. But I would prefer a lot more.
You get bought in early on because they do establish him as a likable character at the beginning, but he doesn't grow or change at all. Really,
he's a badass. He becomes a little bit more of a badass.
Yeah,
that's his character growth. I would say he knows more by the end of it.
He becomes a time reversal badass. He goes from a normal badass to a time reversal badass.
Yeah, exactly.
I just needed a little bit more. Like, for example, we have this whole episode on Inception. That's really good, by the way. You should definitely check it out. It's actually one of our favorite episodes that we've ever done.
We should, a disclaimer is that we're huge Christopher Nolan fanboys.
Oh, yeah.
So all of this is genuine criticism. It's not us just hating on it because, it's too complicated, or I hate Christopher Nolan, he's pretentious all the time. this movie, for me, I just have problems with it.
Me too.
And I love it. It hurts me to say it.
Me too. This movie had everything going for it for us to like it. We love Christopher Nolan. It was our first time back in the cinema. So excited about that.
Also, Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
I love John David Washington in Black Klansman.
We're so hyped on Robert Pattinson at the moment because of everything he's in.
The Batman trailer, which just dropped a week beforehand.
Yeah, not to mention all the performances he's been in that you have turned me on to, like Good Time and The Lighthouse and all that. Good. So, there was a lot riding, like going into this film. We had a lot of anticipation and everything. And to be honest, people sometimes say in reviews, oh, my anticipation ruined the movie for me. I actually don't think my anticipation was the problem. I think the movie wasn't good enough.
I think both for me.
Really?
I think I put way too much weight on this movie.
Really?
Because this is this is such an important movie right now. It really is, and the film industry needs this movie, and it needs it to pop. It needs it to do well financially and critically, because this is the first blockbuster since the virus that shall not be named ravaged the world.
Yeah.
So it's been around 5 months now since we've got a blockbuster release.
Well, no, I mean Bloodshot came out, so.
Oh well, except for Bloodshot, but that's a given, it's Vin Diesel being his best.
Yeah, Toby Kebbell in there, everyone loves Toby Kebbell.
We love Toby Kebbell.
We love Toby Kebbell.
Toby,
get in the Batman universe and hit us up, please.
And Vin Diesel, you're fat, and there's a clip of him being fat. Or picture of him.
I mean, it might as well be a clip. I mean, you can see the movements in the picture.
Oh, of course,
it's a picture that speaks 1,000 words.
It's a strong balcony, though. I'll give that the workmanship that went into that structurally sound.
It's a strong balcony. Yeah. It's a picture that's eats 1,000 cheeseburgers. That's what I think.
I like that.
Thank you.
I forgot my point. This is such an important movie right now for the film industry, and I put way too much weight on it. I thought this movie was going to change my life. I was going in going, this is the first time in 5 months I've went to the cinema.
Yeah.
We bought popcorn, we bought chocolate. We were like so high on this. We went to see it in 35mm.
Ate like pigs the whole time.
Oh, immensely. I'm still bloated because of it.
You consumed your body weight in snacks, I'd say.
I finished my M&Ms before the trailers ended.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
There was like 2 trailers as well. It wasn't standard. It wasn't standard movie where there's
smashing it into my gob.
Trailers are 15 minutes long. No. They were gone by trailer 2. Anyway,
because what trailers?
Exactly.
Like what movies are coming out?
Yeah.
And but that is my problem with the movie as well. Is my own the pressure that I put on it. I wanted this movie to change my life. I felt like I was going to leave a better person. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I was just thinking, obviously, I didn't really think that, but I thought it was just going to blow my mind. I thought I was going to leave going, Christopher Nolan, he's a god. And then it was okay.
I personally...
And that's why it hurts more.
Yeah.
The wound is way worse.
Yeah.
It's fatal because of that.
It was just okay.
Of all that weight that I put on it myself. But also, I do think that the movie's problematic.
Yeah. I personally... not problematic in the SJW way, by the way. Just not great,
Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up, because I'm sure everyone went that direction when I said that.
Oh, please, yeah. It's the go-to word for SJWs
I know it is,
now,
I mean, it's still a word.
Yeah, I know, but...
They don't own it.
They do own it, though.
Do they?
They do. When you say problematic, I think, what happened?
I didn't rape her.
Someone insults a woman in this movie or something, and that's terrible. But I actually don't think I put that much. I was anticipating this movie, but I really don't think I went in putting too much emphasis on it. I was still disappointed by the end of it. Now it wasn't a terrible time in the cinema. I wasn't hating every second of it. It's just okay. There's just a lot of problems with it that. I wasn't expecting to encounter,
But we did understand the main elements.
Yeah, we got
and that's the stuff that I've been reading about, where people are going, it's a puzzle that I couldn't figure out.
I don't understand.
I thought it was pretty basic, actually.
Yeah.
I know the trailer, it's Christopher Nolan, so he's, as we said, he's really guarded. He kind of keeps, everything's retracted, or not
redacted.
Redacted, yeah. When it comes to his trailers, he's like, no, black line through that, black line through that. We're convinced that he cuts his own trailers, or at least he stands over the poor editor and goes, no, mate, that's staying in.
Maybe not that final trailer, though.
Fucking staying in.
That's fucking staying in, yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe not that final trailer. That reveals a lot.
Yeah.
But the basics, I understood. The whole reversal, the whole time reversal thing, very simple, really.
Yeah.
And honestly, they don't really explain certain things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They're just like, this is how it's going.
This isn't a big
That's fine.
spoiler, but there's a line of dialogue in this movie where someone's like, it doesn't really matter. They're
It
basically like, do you really want an explanation? No,
Yeah.
you don't really. So let's just get on with it. Let's just get to the cool
Exactly.
stuff.
And that's fine. I'm fine. That's the stuff I don't really care about,
No,
actually.
no.
It's more like the characters'
Yeah.
intentions
Yeah.
and what they're about.
How everyone fits in the world. Because there is,
and why I should care about this individual
Yeah.
and that individual. Like Elizabeth Debicki,
Yeah.
didn't give a shit about her.
Didn't really care about
She's
her.
integral to the movie.
Her performance is good.
I think everyone's performance is pretty spot on for
Yeah.
what like Kenneth Branagh is a bit of a joke in this, but I honestly think he's given it his all, and we can get into the dialogue.
Yeah.
But there's some dialogue where I'm like,
Laughable.
shame on you.
It's laughable.
We laughed a little bit. I smirked a few times.
Yeah. The lines they give these
I can't take that seriously.
I
Like,
know.
what did he just say that?
the lines they give these world class actors to do is just it's really really bad.
It's too pretentious.
It takes you out of it. It's so pretentious. It needs. I mean, when we talked about Inception. This was the point I was trying to make earlier. I don't know if I made it or not. But Leonardo DiCaprio came in to work on the script, and apparently he added a lot of the humanity to it, like everything with Cobb and his kids, and sort of giving him more of a structure.
so that people can consume it
consume
as like
it.
a blockbuster.
And
supposedly now, Christopher Nolan had just all these crazy ideas.
It was initially a horror movie as well, which I didn't know. Only found out recently.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But also they spent months, like Christopher Nolan and Leonardo DiCaprio spent months on this, kind of just formulating a kind of consumable way to present this movie.
Yeah, and giving you a reason to root for Cobb, and that's what you needed in this. Like,
could we not have got Leo in just for pre-production?
Get
him in the movie as well.
I mean, get him in the movie.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
Don't make him be Russian.
Don't make him be Russian, but make him the bad guy. He could do a slight Russian accent, other than
I don't want it. I don't want it. Because why does Kenneth Branagh have to be Russian?
Because
all Russians are bad guys.
Yeah, because all Russians
American
are bad
blockbusters.
Guys. Well, I would have to spoil it to tell you, Ian, so therefore I can't tell you.
Yeah, no. And I did realize.
Yeah.
I kind of answered my own question.
Yeah.
When I said it out loud.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't give me a reason, really. Like, I'm still not like, oh, well, then it has to be like that.
I quite liked his Russian accent, I will say. And then he starts delivering certain lines, and I go, oh, wait, no, this has gone too far.
And see, that's the problem, because I'm like, I don't know if that's the actor's problem. I think it's
director,
the
and I think it's the script writer as well. But this is what I'm saying. They needed someone to come in and really humanize this story, because it's even more... Like, Inception is a broad concept around a human story. Mm-hmm. We're trying to do one specific thing. This movie is a broad concept around the concept of the world being destroyed. And that is too big of a concept to not have some heart.
And also, I think the problem is, it's... what was I going to say? Damn.
I've lost it.
I lost it. I'm sorry.
What was it along the lines of?
No,
Talking about the concept of the movie and how it's too broad?
I was going to say, I think the whole movie is the concept, and I don't like that. Yeah. The whole movie is the concept, where if you watch Interstellar... I keep saying Interstellar. Inception, when you watch it, Cobb and his story with Maul...
So human.
It's so human. It's so horrible as well. Oh, Jesus! When she commits suicide.
That's my favourite line in
anything. And all he wants to do is get back to his kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so invested in his story and his nightmares.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so invested in that. This movie, lead character doesn't even have a name. The movie is a concept, and that's it. And that's too much. It's too much and too little at the same time.
He's billed as the protagonist.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No,
there.
I got
started
you back.
listening to you, and then I was like, "Oh damn it, I forgot what I was about to say."
I got you back there. We're fine.
Thanks.
We're fine. But yeah, he's even like the protagonist. Like that when
he keeps saying that, by the way.
When he's
like,
referred to that, and it's like, that's not a spoiler. It's in, like, if you look at IMDb and everything, that's named and everything. But it's just like, that doesn't have any real meaning to it either. No. It's just what they refer to him as. And that's just so pretentious. And it's such a movie thing to even be like the main character, call him in the movie the protagonist.
Call himself the protagonist. And then other people going, are you the protagonist?
Are
he's like, no, I am, mate. Yeah,
it's just terrible. The only character's name I actually remember in this movie that I took away from it, I've learned later other characters' names, but I took away Robert Pattinson's name is Neil. Because he's so good.
Excellent through the whole movie.
He's so good.
He's so good. And now we definitely have good vibes from that Batman trailer, and that washed over into that.
Yeah.
But still, He pops in every scene.
But I mean, we have good vibes about John David Washington from Black Klansman, and we didn't like him that much in this.
Yeah, and I was so high on him.
But just to get,
I don't even think it's his fault as well.
No, I don't. But Robert Pattinson is the only one who seems to be able to be given this dialogue and
have fun with it.
Have fun with it. He kind of delivers these big, pretentious speeches in such a lackadaisical way that he seems so. I don't know. It's just such a nice way. He plays with it. You know, he's kind of like...
It's like Ewan McGregor when he's doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he can just embrace the bullshit. You know, when you watch him in those earlier... The prequels, and you're like, he's the only one who's delivering these lines properly. Because he's like, oh, we're just going to go campy here. Robert Pattinson has a way of like just being nonchalant about the whole thing.
It's great because he's like, you're asking for an explanation, so fine, I'll give you one. I'll give you the wordy explanation. But
and
really,
they give us many wordy explanations.
He does, but he's like, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna like. It doesn't really matter if you understand this or not. We have a job to do, you know, and that's kind of the delivery of his lines. And he seems to be having fun. And by the end of it, he was my favorite part of actually. Close tied.
Well, he's in a lot of it compared to the other guy.
So
can we say he's in the trailer?
He's in the final trailer of this movie. So yeah, we'll say that Aaron Taylor Johnson has a role in this movie,
which we did not know about.
Didn't know about because we didn't watch the final trailer. It's awesome, and
it's not a cameo. It's like an extended cameo.
Yeah,
like he's in the movie. He's definitely in the movie, but he only shows up later on, and you're like. What? He's in this, and then he fucking jumps off the screen.
He's so good.
Glorious beard.
He looks great in it, and
having fun.
Having fun. Again, him and Robert Pattinson are having fun
all the way.
Yeah, and
on all day. I loved it.
All day, yeah. And whereas Kenneth Branagh and Elizabeth Debicki are trying to milk these lines for all the drama, and it's not working.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Neither of them are having fun. And John David Washington, past first 30 minutes maybe, he's just kind of blank, like he's not having fun with it, and he's
too cool for school as well.
Sometimes he's grasping these concepts too quickly, and then other times he's not grasping it at all.
When he learns about the science behind the whole reverse shit, he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
Like, wait, hold on.
Come on.
Like, you didn't know this existed 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's in the trailer where the gun sucks back in the bullet, and he goes, whoa.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, you're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it. And he goes, whoa, moving right along.
Yeah.
And like, wait, hold on.
It's just, some of it's just too...
My head would explode. I'd be like, wait, what did you just say? You're talking shite there.
It's just too understated sometimes.
Elaborate,
bitch.
Yeah. You can't just say shit.
Yeah.
And all he goes is, whoa. Not even like a Keanu Reeves, like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, he's just like, whoa.
And... we were watching a lot of behind the scenes of this movie, and he put in so much work for this movie.
He's so physical.
All
the stunts,
all his stunts
just about
was him.
All the stunts.
Yeah, and then you see him like practicing the fight scenes.
The combat, man, he can move.
He really can.
He's doing some judo rolls and shit like that. He's running up the walls.
Yeah, he's doing everything.
He put a lot of effort into this.
Again, don't watch the behind the scenes if you haven't seen the movie, because there are spoilers in that as well. But
Chrissy wouldn't want you
doing it. And Chrissy, listen. We tried to watch it in the way you want us to, man.
35mm.
35mm. We went to the cinema. We did all the right things, and it just didn't land for us.
It didn't land, and it hurt.
It did. It really...
The wound is so fresh.
Yeah.
It's wide open.
The two of us left, like, just kind of unhappy.
I was expecting to be... I expected to leave confused.
Yeah.
And instead, I just left unhappy. And let down.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to say, I just want to make the point because I'm going to forget this, is we watched Inception and we were so high on it, and we actually say in the episode, because it went 10 this year, it's 10 years old this year, so it had its 10th anniversary, we said it's the quintessential Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
I think it just depicts his genre or his style the best of anything. It's the most Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to just keep comparing it, Tenet to that. And I really thought this was like it's like, people saying it's a spiritual sequel as well. So when we reviewed Tenet, when we reviewed Inception, we said every time something is explained, it's packaged in such an entertaining way. You're like, oh my god, the cafe is exploding while he's describing like dreams and how they work to Ellen Page. You're like, this is so fun to watch that I'm getting educated, but I'm getting tricked into it, so I don't even care. In this movie, there's so many times where people just sit down and talk a lot of words.
And
it's just explaining.
I'm glad you brought this up as well, because I wrote down on here, like, the exposition in this movie is so important, as within Inception. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to listen to a lot of exposition, but in Inception, like you said, packaged interestingly. In this movie, it's given to you two people walking and talking, which isn't great, number one.
No.
And then sometimes it's tried to be delivered interestingly, fails miserably.
But even they're not even walking and talking at times. There's times where they're just sitting there.
Sitting and talking.
There's some long scenes where there's just 2 or 3 characters, they're sitting down, and all that comes out of their mouths is explanation.
Yeah.
Explanation for this, explanation for that. And it's just so boring and dull to take in. Also, they're saying some batshit crazy stuff. So you need a package in some sort of fun way.
But no one is reacting to this like it's batshit crazy. That's
the thing.
Yeah.
But also, you think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt walking around that staircase, and he's talking about the paradox.
Yeah.
Like, so fun.
Boring. You discover it's a paradox. The whole scene is interesting.
So
explains
fun.
everything.
Like, this is cool.
How many times in Inception, not Ellen Page was questioning things, Tom Hardy was questioning things, everyone was just questioning things and being like, well, why would we do that? It's
Ellen Page walking down that bridge, she has all the mirrors, and then she explodes the mirrors.
Yeah.
She falls over the city when she's playing with her own consciousness, her own dream, and like the science and gravity behind everything, like.
And then when people start attacking her and everything, all of that is interesting.
Consciousness, it's because it's Cobb's dream. So he's starting to, because she's changing the environment, he's getting wary, and he's getting
his subconscious is
anxious about the whole thing.
He's becoming more aware that someone is messing with it, so it moves in to take her out, basically.
Also fun, and you're tricked into being educated.
Yeah.
So you don't even realize that, I just was explained so much stuff in this scene.
And I
think the cafe scene is the best.
Is
because,
peak. Yeah.
Well, I guess the cafe scene and the
staircase.
City folding over is like just what my mind sees when I think of Inception.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're the super famous trademarks of that movie.
Yeah.
And then when I think of this movie, all I see is people sitting down talking, and so many words are said, and I'm like, okay, we're explaining more.
Yeah.
Oh, we're explaining more again.
And then it gets to a scene where it's meant to be action and interesting, and then sometimes it's like, that was boring. That was boring. There are so many scenes as well where it's like, they're like, the movie works in a way. It's got like.
It's so hard to do this without giving away anything.
John David Washington has an objective, gets the objective, moves on from it, gets another objective, moves on from it, but it's cut in a way where gets the objective cut at a completely different point, working with someone else, and it's just...
And again, you're filling in the blanks.
Yeah, you're
because the movie's not going to do it for you.
No, the movie isn't going to do it for you, but in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
Where the movie isn't doing it for you in places you need it. Like, again, it's all about establishing those baselines of who characters are and making it easy for you to digest bigger concepts, because if you have the basics of the movie down, that guy's name's Cobb, this is whatever, they are thieves and everything, okay, and then they're gonna explain how they steal everything. Like the opening of Inception, you see all of the concepts being used that you are going to later be explained. At the opening of this movie, great scene, really fun, and I enjoyed it. Kind of, you only get the loose basics of the concept.
Very loose. Yeah.
And
we've been hearing from a lot of people, like we've friends, and some people love it, some people hate it.
Some people hate it.
Like, which I was surprised at how much they hated it.
Yeah.
And didn't understand it.
Yeah, I know.
But I think they just gave up. I actually think we have a friend that walked out.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck this is just annoying me.
It's just annoying me. He sent us his review.
And it's better than our review.
It's better than our review. We're going to play it for you guys when we finish reviewing this, but he
was so angry.
He was really angry, yeah. This should be a public apology to Jerry for making him sit through that, even most of that movie.
But I didn't want to ruin it for him because I think it's so... Like, it's on 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, it's 79%.
It went down, did it?
I thought it was 79% because it was lower than Bill and Ted.
Yeah, but then it went back up. I'll check now. I'll get
now.
The most recent... let's see, the most recent score.
Oh, it's back on 81. Okay, I apologize. Oh, Bill and Ted's on 78%. Oh, what am I thinking then?
Out of 122 reviews, 81%. It's on 81%.
Yeah.
No audience score yet because it's not out in America yet, and Rotten Tomatoes is an American website.
It's racist. I said it.
What are you saying?
Rotten Tomatoes is racist.
Oh, so Bill and Ted's now on 78%.
RT stands for racist twats.
Whoa.
No, I love you, Rotten Tomatoes. You're way better than Metacritic. Yeah, but Bill and Ted has a higher audience score, and I imagine the audience score for Tenet's going to be very low.
Well, yeah, I do think so.
Yeah.
I do think so. I think it's going to be harsh.
Yeah, me
and people
too.
are going to be like, "Oh, review bombing." I don't think so.
I don't think it's going to be review bombing.
No.
I don't see why this movie would get review bombed.
I think a lot of filmmakers will appreciate this movie for what's going on technically. Where I think the average audience, even reviewers, some professional reviewers are calling it like the best action movie ever made. Michael Caine's very old in this movie. Very, very old. It's a bit scary.
It's scary.
It's a bit scary.
And
he's that old.
Yeah, and he may be in one of the worst scenes in the movie. Meh.
Well, I think he's great in it.
Me too.
But the scene it's nonsense. It's what do we relate it to? We compared it to a bad James Bond movie. His scene, because we're like, this is nonsense. It's so unnecessary.
So much nonsense.
And then all the information he gives us is so unnecessary.
Yeah, completely.
I'm like, we don't need this.
Too much backstory.
Also, way too complicated of a way to connect John David Washington to other characters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess, are we going with that?
Yeah, we're taking the long way to get to these characters meeting each other. And
these are details that once you get to the next stage, you're like, disregard all that. It's fucking whatever.
It becomes nothing.
Whatever.
It means nothing by 5 minutes after that scene. Everything in it means nothing.
And even when they bring that shit back up, you're like, oh, that's the stupid information.
That's the stupid shit. And you're like, you kind of
just swat it.
You kind of just sigh and go, oh yeah, we're back to this. I saw on a poster that this movie was described as James Bond on acid, and I would agree. It's just not one of the good James Bond on acid.
Sadly, it's not. Yeah.
I saw that.
It's one of the more bad Roger Moore movies, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe Timothy Dalton.
I didn't want to throw him under the bus, but the Living Daylights that's a slog.
That one, that is one of those movies where that's one of the peak examples of a James Bond movie that so many complicated reasons to get to a very simple next point.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
It's not fun. It's not interesting.
Yeah.
It's just length. It's just adding length to it.
This movie...
It hurts that I'm saying that.
Yeah, me too.
But here's the problem, right? All these complicated things we're talking about, we're like, whoa, Michael Caine's scene, you're like, that's just pure nonsense. That runtime, it's not like I need a shorter movie.
No.
But all that information there and all that space it just took... Could we not learn more about the character that we're following?
Exactly.
Please.
Could we not get more? It's not...
I know nothing about this character. I actually know nothing about this character.
Me neither.
I know his job.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know his name.
Only because we understand the job at the end of it.
I know he's got a sweet tailor.
Yeah. He does. Well, he
can fire off some good one-liners.
Yeah.
Too cool for school. He's about to drop a demo tape. No one talks like that, but okay, I'll roll with it, Chrissy.
Yeah. He's too cool without making us like him. You know, that's the issue.
And then when you see him doing all the stunts, John David Washington, I'm like,
I'm in.
That's so cool.
And then I remember I didn't like you in the movie, you know, and it's disappointing. I had something to say there, and I've forgotten it now.
It's hard to. There's so much to say about this movie. There is,
and we can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for people, honestly, because I would hate to have this movie spoiled on me.
Me too.
You know, the movie is good. It's just not that great.
It's not that great.
Yeah.
I think it's just barely passable, and sadly, the concept is pure gold.
I remembered what I was going to say. Yeah, the concept is pure gold. Even the better action scenes, there are problems within those scenes where things don't make sense or things aren't done in the best way. There are,
there was a lot of effort put into it.
Exactly.
As well. That's what annoys me.
It is, because you're looking at all this effort being put in on screen, and you're like, this should be cool, but these characters should be doing something different, or this needs to be amplified, or you need to up something here, you know, even
we drove home and we came up with ideas.
Yeah, we're
like, with all that technology and all the reverse stuff, we're like, because we can't give anything away, but in the third act it's used a lot, as you would expect. Third act,
you're meant to have got it by then, so you see it a lot. And
we had loads of different ideas. We were like, that would be interesting. That'd be interesting. You had 205 million to spend on it. They could have done all the stuff we said.
And it's just, you know...
I know that sounds like we're big-headed, but I mean, you'll watch it as well and go, oh my God, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, you have to slog through, even during the action scenes, you have to slog through the lengthy bits of just going and going and going, and then you get to a cool bit, and then it's like, that was really good, and that gives you about 2 minutes of grace, and then now you're slogging, you're slogging again. It's just, it's not grabbing you the entire time. During the action scenes, it's not grabbing you for every one of them. It's just kind of happening, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, okay,
And
come on.
What's funny is when the action happens, you're like, oh, grand, they're not talking anymore.
Exactly. You're like,
Which
thank
is so
God
bad.
for that.
I can't believe I'm saying that about Christopher Nolan
I know,
movie.
but I didn't like the dialogue, and
No, I had so many problems with the dialogue. The boat scene, it's slightly in the trailer where they're on the boat, and we laughed.
we laughed out loud. It's awful.
We laughed out loud.
The
It's-
sailboat, by the way, not the
There's a
big yacht.
sailboat
There's
and
so much on the yacht.
John David Washington's doing all these moves. I'm like, what are we watching?
What are we watching?
And then all this really important dialogue.
Why-
They have to shout at each other because they can't hear each other.
Because Christopher Nolan made them learn how to sail a yacht like this.
And they're like, okay, here's some really important... Oh, wait, I need to sail.
Yeah, need to sail.
Oh, wait, what were you saying? Oh, no, sailing again.
Yeah, it's awful.
I was smirking, and I'm like, what? This is a Christopher Nolan movie where I'm kind of laughing at
This
it?
is so lame. It was. It's really, really just not great. And oh fuck, I keep forgetting what I was going to say. Oh, it's a tough to like a movie like this when 3 out of the 5 probably main characters you're not really that fond of. You know?
Yeah, it gives... And it will not give you a single reason to care for them. I think this is the most... This is the movie that most relies on Christopher Nolan's legend that he's made so far. Because usually... I thought Interstellar...
And it is a legend.
Yeah, it is. But I did think Interstellar had that a bit where half of the people I spoke to were like, I didn't get it or I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of that half where I was like, I didn't love that movie. I love huge elements of it. I love the concept. Visually, just spellbinding.
Music.
It was the music is my favorite thing in the whole movie,
Me
probably.
too.
And
Me too.
Matthew McConaughey is 110% into his character
Yeah.
and delivers all day. But at the same time, I was like, I don't think that was great. And then I talked to certain people and they're like, that was the best movie I ever watched. And I go, why? Like, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
That's not a reason.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling this movie is getting the same kind of treatment where certain reviewers are like, Christopher Nolan has done a Christopher Nolan thing again. Like,
I don't think
but
so.
elaborate.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean by that?
Christopher Nolan's just Chris Nolan'd it up. And it's
Yeah.
like, is that a verb now?
I think it is.
Are you using it as a verb, adjective, and a noun?
I nearly accepted it, but no,
No.
because I seen it. I accepted it until I seen the movie, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I can see how his legend is kind of dictating some of these positive reviews.
I think Interstellar, though, is a good enough movie where if you like it on its own, you can like it on its own merit. I don't think this movie's that good. To like it without knowing who Christopher Nolan is and what he's trying to do is very difficult.
I think if you came in, if this was just a new director who had made the exact same movie, the reviews would be so different.
Yeah.
It'd be so different.
Yeah.
He's got so much goodwill and too right as
Too
well.
right. He's an amazing director. We love him.
But his body of work is fantastic and it's eclectic. Like the fact that we have The Dark Knight, which is... It's a comic book movie, and I know they're like, oh, but it was a Christopher Nolan movie. It's such a comic book movie. Look at it.
It's basically a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Almost perfect
But
movie.
it's such a comic book movie at the same time. I know it has huge elements of his style, in it, but it still is a comic book movie.
Oh,
but then you
yeah.
watch Dunkirk, completely different movie.
It's a war movie.
So different, and the 3 different timelines and how it's cut together. It was something like Memento. It'll fuck with your mind.
Yeah, Insomnia.
And then Inception, as we keep saying.
Inception, yeah.
Insomnia is such a different movie as well. Inception, it's just... he's got a great body of work, and that's why I think this movie should be judged the way you judge all his other movies.
Yeah.
And it's just... It doesn't stand up.
Doesn't stand up to it.
We're going to say... Oh, sorry. Go
No,
on.
what were you going to say there?
The music.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we should shout out that the music in this movie we actually really appreciate. It is unlike any other Christopher Nolan movie, and it's unlike...
There's reasons for that.
There's reasons for that. Number one, it's not Hans Zimmer, which you've come to expect. It's Ludwig Göransson, who did The Mandalorian. You would know him from that amazing opening theme.
Yes, so you know him from The Mandalorian.
This
You wouldn't
is not
recognize his
no,
work in
you
this.
really wouldn't.
Also, he's... who does he work with? Donald Glover?
Yes, he does for Childish Gambino stuff and everything, which is so cool. Donald Glover is easily one of the coolest people who lives on this earth.
And the most talented motherfucker ever.
Yeah, he is.
Ever to grace this earth.
His attractiveness is like through the roof just because of his talent.
His talent. That's
Yeah.
it. His talent is just is huge. The girth of his talent.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Same with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I wouldn't want to make it gay and talk about women on this show, you know?
Don't gay it up, man.
Yeah, exactly,
Seriously.
yeah.
But the music is so different.
Yeah.
I think this is almost like a departure from the Christopher Nolan genre that it is. Like, I know it's an intellectual thriller. That's what I was calling Inception.
Yeah.
It so is that movie, but at the same time, it just looks, to me anyway, it looks and feels a bit different. And I don't mean that as in like because it's bad. I just mean like I think the music has a huge part to play in it because it's almost like this trance. It's almost noise.
Yeah.
But like clever noise.
It is.
Which I appreciate. I really appreciate.
Oh, no.
It really added some just weird anxiousness to the whole thing.
When the movie's working, it's really working. It's very good.
I don't think it's a spoiler to say that when the reverse shit's going on, the music reverses.
So cool. It's
very
awesome.
cool. Such a Christopher Nolan movie.
And you said it immediately because you heard the music and you turned to me and you went, I think that's reversed. I think they reversed the music. And then at the end of the movie, you were like, that's exactly what happened. And I was like,
so cool.
You've got such a good ear, Ian.
Well, I was listening out for it. So I said it to myself. I went, I wonder if they reversed the music. And then they did. Like, I was expecting it.
Yeah. But
that's such a Hans Zimmer thing to do as well, though.
It is, yeah.
You know, he would do the exact same thing. Like, we have to reverse it there.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan's like, I expected you to think that.
I knew you were going to say that, Hans. And I agree. But
high five and eat a sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's German.
I got it. Don't worry.
It wasn't for you. That was for the audience.
Oh, I see. I understand. Audience, did you get it? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
Also, you should subscribe, check us out on Instagram, Facebook.
Please do.
Twitter.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere.
We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. We are on Spotify.
Yes, we are. Ian now pays for Spotify as well, which is a big deal.
I do. That's a big flex for me.
It is a big flex. But I think we're going to move off Tenet. But before we do, we just want to give you the review that this really kind of...
This is just a normal guy who's not a huge movie fan.
Oh, he's a pretty big. He's seen lots of movies.
I'm sure he's seen lots of movies, but I mean, compared to us, he's not like a massive movie head the way we are.
I suppose.
And he just wanted to go to the cinema for a good time.
And we
that's
pretty accurate. And then we said, he was like, "Am I going to like this movie?" And I
retracted.
You retracted.
I don't know what to say because I don't know. I thought he might love it.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, you should go. It's good. It's not great, but it's good, and you'll like it. And we were wrong. So, Jerry, we apologize, and this is for you.
Okay, I hope now if this doesn't pick it up properly, I'll put it in post-production.
Yeah.
But I think it will.
Right, who's ready for my Tenet review?
He's talking to the audience there.
The shittest fucking film I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Tell us more, Jerry.
I've never actually got up and we both agreed to leave the cinema after about an hour and a half, 2 hours of it.
I feel like it was
made
less.
No fucking sense. It was so fucking shit. And I'm pretty open-minded and I like weird films.
Thanks for clarifying.
It was fucking painful. The first half hour was sick. By the time it got to the point where the bird was in the car and he was going to shoot her, this, that and the other, and then they started explaining it all. What a load of fucking bollocks. I don't actually even care what fucking happened at the end. It was like the confusion of Shutter Island mixed with the fucking annoying intenseness of Uncut Gems, and then like mix them two films together and play it backwards. And it was like they tried to do something and it was just so fucking shit.
Put that on the poster.
I'm really gonna actually watch your fucking podcast to see how you could find anything good about that fucking shit film. Denzel Washington himself couldn't have fucking made that film good, and I can't imagine Denzel and his missus even sitting through that shit film without thinking, what the fuck?
John David Washington,
the only thing
that's his son.
Ever been in is the fucking Black Klansman, and that was pretty shit as well.
I love the Black Klansman.
I don't want to be negative, guys, but that was
He doesn't want to be negative, everyone.
I'm just fucking glad that it's over now, and I don't care what happened at the end. I really don't.
So he's not a fan.
He's not a fan.
Do I play the video?
Yeah, play the video, yeah.
It's the language is a bit intense.
Yeah, guys.
If I was getting a fucking blowy during that film and Denzel Washington, I still would have thought that film was fucking shit and unbearable. Tell your fucking podcast fans that, you fucking cunt.
Thank you, Jerry,
Thanks,
for summarising the movie much better than we could.
Not even a blowjob from the king himself would save that movie. Yeah. That's the review.
So John David Washington is Denzel Washington's son, in case anyone didn't realise that.
Yes, yeah.
Which I didn't realise while watching The Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yeah, there you go.
And I got a movie podcast.
You do.
Shame on me.
So
thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry, for summing
those
up
beautiful words.
Yeah, for summing up the movie better than we ever could.
Now, I disagree with what he's saying. I thought there was some good elements to it, and I didn't leave.
Yeah, me too.
But I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
That's exactly how he felt.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no filter on that man.
No, there is not. So thank you very much. We should move on now to some sadder news.
So sad.
Yeah, so today,
so unexpected, by the way.
So today my dad woke me up and he was like, you should check your phone. And I looked and it said the first thing on the news, Chadwick Boseman dies of colon cancer at 43.
I was like, he had fucking cancer? What?
This came out of nowhere. Like, completely out of
and
nowhere.
Yet it was a 4-year battle.
Yeah.
But it came out of nowhere to just about everyone.
He shot Black Panther when he was he just beginning the battle for colon cancer, was it? It was 4 years.
A year in.
Black Panther was
Look
shot.
at the shape he's in.
I know.
For that waterfall fight. So, like, is this post chemotherapy? Is this just before?
I don't know.
That's crazy. When I think back now, I'm like, that can't be good.
Yeah.
Like he is in peak physical form right there, and he's like fighting for his life. He's
sad.
Literally fighting for his life.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is. Like, I'm still shocked by it. You know,
I can't believe at the age of 43.
Yeah, and Black Panther is my younger brother's favorite character, so he took it actually quite hard as well because he obviously loves the character and in the Marvel movies and everything. But yeah, it was so shocking, came out of nowhere, and then obviously everyone's reaching out and talking, you know, just extending their condolences and everything.
Yeah, I'm shell shocked.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't feel real that he's
really
dead.
Doesn't. Yeah.
And you know, we were only talking. We did a review of The Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods.
Yeah,
and he's
central part in it.
He's so epic in it. Like, I know he's only in it he has a small role, but it's a huge pivotal role which the movie is centered around.
It is, and like
he's Stormin' Norman,
and we only talked about in that trailer, like he has now 2 iconic, like, you know, African American characters with Black Panther Black Panther's not African American, but just black characters, you know, with Stormin' Norman and Black Panther, and how many more is he going to add to his belt as he, you know, continues to grow as an actor? And now
we got that answer way too quickly.
Yeah, way quicker than I wanted. Yeah, it's really heartbreaking.
Also, that man's 43.
Yeah,
he looks
so young.
He looks so young in the Black Panther. He's like, what, 39?
39 in that. It's insane.
What? Or maybe even older.
I think we talked
40?
about that at one stage, at how he just looks great for his age.
That's crazy.
So youthful. He's just youthful.
I could not believe he was 43.
Yeah. And he seems like...
He seemed like a good dude.
He did.
And he's just at the peak of his career. He's at the point there, like, once you make a movie like Black Panther,
$1 billion.
all the roles, all the roles will start to come in.
Know.
And that's, you know, when you hear of actors like Chris Evans, once he did Captain America, he was like, now I get to pick my roles.
Yeah.
You know that way? I'm not really fighting for roles. Scripts are getting sent to me left, right, and center. Same place Chadwick Boseman was in right now in his career. So that's so saddening.
Yeah, I'm getting sad just thinking about it now. And I drank 4 cans of Monster before this, and I didn't think I could get sad right now. My heart is beating too fast for me to get sad. But yeah, it's just incredible. How does Wikipedia have an article about the response already?
I know.
Anyway, yeah, and you know, he just, listen, we're not involved in the day-to-day life, but he just seemed he seemed like a superhero, untouchable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
That's how you see all these actors. They are superheroes in your own mind.
But also, it feels like we're just at the beginning of his like legacy.
Yeah.
You know that way? Like, as I know, I'm just repeating myself again, but the minute like Black Panther was released and makes over $1 billion, you're like, this guy is now for the next 10 years is going to be hot shit. You know what I mean? He
was going to be like, people were imagining leading the Avengers at some stage. You know,
yeah, Black Panther 2 has a release date.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy as well.
Yeah. This was the legacy that was building up. You know, he had about 10 years more of just growing this iconic character.
Yeah,
and
also because all these other characters have now left the MCU.
Yeah,
you know, there's so much space for someone like him, Doctor Strange. You're like, oh, they're going to be
Captain
front
Marvel
and center.
Front and center. And look, you know, we've stated before, we weren't the biggest Black Panther fans. It's good, but you know, that last half isn't great or whatever.
No, the third act.
The third act, like we were both still excited for Black Panther 2, Black Panther 3. Seeing him in the future as the concept grows, and now like we're never going to get to see that. So we thought we might talk about potentially what the future of the MCU might be without him there.
And like, what is the right move?
Yeah.
Like, what is the respectful move? Because that's a tricky situation. And let's be honest, like, the MCU is just a big, massive capitalistic cog that's going to keep moving.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the nicest. Well, it's not a nice way of putting it, but that's just reality.
Look, Black Panther made $1 billion. They're not going to make another one. They're not going to not make another one. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just the way the world works.
And what's interesting to think is, and this is so weird to even say, but I feel like Fast and Furious 7 dealt with like the death of Paul Walker in such a respectful fashion.
Yeah,
it's kind of like I know it's completely different circumstances. Like, they were halfway through filming. Yeah, but then you got the Paul Walker's brothers involved. I know. And rather than go, okay, the character dies in this movie, which would have been so disrespectful, I think. Yeah. And rather go, oh, let's just get someone that looks like him and we'll recast the role. They went, no, we'll give him like a send off. What do you do in this instance? Because like, you have to address it in some sort of way. And what is the respectful way?
I personally think after Fast and Furious 7, they've gotten more disrespectful about Paul Walker's death. It's kind of milked for drama in the...
You think so? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Whenever they talk about Brian, it's kind of milked. I think now they started milking it.
I don't get that.
Really?
I will say, I don't get that. Like, and I mean, it's Fast and Furious. They can do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean? Like, it's all bullshit anyway.
Yeah. No, Fast and Furious 7, totally. I thought that was respectful. It was beautiful and everything. Since then, though, I think it's just kind of...
I feel like...
They haven't been as good about it.
I know Vin Diesel is a dope who loves cake.
Yes, he does.
And steroids.
And steroids.
But I do believe that he had an emotional connection with his great friend Paul Walker.
I agree.
And I believe whatever he's doing in, like, say, Fast and Furious 8 is out of sincerity.
Yeah.
Sincerity? Yeah, I said it right. That's what I believe. Obviously, you believe. Otherwise...
I'm sure it's done sincerely. I don't think it's appropriate still. Okay, you know what I mean?
What do you think is appropriate for Black Panther moving forward?
So initially I was thinking recast, and I know that's terrible to say, but that's what I was thinking, because I still want to see T'Challa, the character, in it, and that might just be me being selfish and everything. Like,
you're a big comic book fan.
Yeah, and
I'm giving you an out here.
Yeah, give me an out. Thank you, I appreciate it. No, I liked T'Challa, the character, and you know, we were going to get the X-Men in, so I wanted to see him and Storm potentially get married. Like, that's such a powerful couple, and I started reading Marvel comics during Civil War.
That's Beyonce and Jay-Z right there.
That sort of energy of the Marvel universe. That is the Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, that's the coolest couple you can get, and it's I just wanted to see more of that. So initially I was thinking...
You're going to be the Kim and Kanye of the MCU?
Yeah, exactly. Potential president Kanye West and First Lady Kim Kardashian. No, but I was initially thinking, I would like to see recasting because I want to see more of that character. And then I was thinking maybe they pass the thing to Shuri, and I've made my position well known on that character.
She should not be Black Panther. She should not be.
And not because she's a woman, it's because she's an insufferable character.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do that, though. And the only reason I say that is because, first of all, I don't think that actress Letitia Wright, who I actually adore.
Me too.
Mainly because of the amazing Black Mirror episode she's in the museum. I forget what it's called. It's like Museum of Horrors or something like that.
She's lovely.
She's deadly, but at the same time, I don't think she could even fill the suit up. I don't think she's got that physicality about her. And she's a scientist. Like, the whole thing that you don't like is like, she's the smartest person in the MCU. Yeah. And you're a fool if you think otherwise. Yeah. So I don't feel like she would be a person that's always in combat. Even when she's shooting her blasters, she just looks like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, that way. Yeah. Give me a notepad. I want to do some summaries. Exactly. I want to do some maths here.
Yeah.
I could see...
Okoye.
Yeah.
Which is played by Denai Guerrera. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I would never. I just keep thinking of Michonne.
Yeah, I know Michonne. But maybe her take over the role as Black Panther. I could see her
doing it, or since it's a mantle anyway that gets passed. Like his father was Black Panther, and then T'Challa. I guess we could get someone else that comes along. I don't.
Have a son, a strange son. I don't know. What I was thinking before we started this, and I never spoke to you, I was like, it's a shame Killmonger dies in the first one, because wouldn't it be great now if they could if Michael B. Jordan comes back and is given redemption gets to be, or even play a villain again as the Black Panther, and then redeems himself after and becomes...
That would be beautiful.
It would be good. That. I know he dies, but that would be what we...
It's a tricky
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. All I know is like it's
Such a hard talk to have. Can you
Yeah.
imagine even like Ryan Coogler, the director?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what he's thinking right now. Maybe he'll bow out.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised because those directors, like, they get really attached to working with a certain person. And it's like, that's half the journey is just working with this actor, you know? And
I'd love to know Chadwick's opinion on this. Maybe he had no opinion, you know. So much more going on in his life than being Black Panther. But at the same time, it was him. It was him, you know.
He was synonymous with that character.
Yeah. And, you know, they say in Black Panther, you know, death is not the end in his culture and everything. And I see a lot of people saying rest in power and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, rest in power, Chadwick Boseman. Is there anything else we want to say? Or I think they should be respectful about the whole thing.
I just don't know what that move is.
I don't know what the move is.
I'm hoping that whatever they do, I go, that's it.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of that because I'm not a genius.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Hopefully Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. Even if it means... I don't know.
I don't know what you do.
Bringing in an estranged son or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll accept some movie bullshit.
I think a lot of people will.
Yeah.
They'll contort to whatever logic they use as long as it seems respectful.
Yeah. And I think it will be.
I would be very interested to see, will it be pushed back?
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. And again, very excited about the movie.
Yeah, me too. And I really thought the things that I didn't like about the first movie,
they were gonna
that's going to be so fixed.
Yeah,
it's going to be so fixed.
Exactly.
Especially all the criticism towards the CGI. In the third act, I was like,
exactly.
It's going to look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's sad. So yeah.
But at least we had that beautiful Tenet review where we were so high on that movie.
I think we had Jerry's beautiful Tenet review. That's
excellent.
the uplifting thing. I want to talk about something we didn't talk about before, but Kenobi. Some more stuff has been released about Kenobi, where it's going to be
Disney.
set to TV series.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of this, have you?
I don't think I have.
This guy has.
Oh.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, as
Educate
everyone
me, baby.
knows. I'll educate you on what's going on. So they say it's going to be based a few years after Order 66, which is when all the Jedi were executed and Palpatine took over in the Empire.
Actually, no, that's stuff.
Classic. That's some Star Wars lore right there.
It's pretty basic though.
It's basic Star Wars lore. We can get deep if you want. No, and it's going to be all about Vader's hunt to try and find Obi-Wan, and then wrapped in that is going to be him trying to avoid him, and then all like Commander Cody, who is the clone who was attached with him. It's going to be, people say it's going to be about him as well, which means Jaimin Hansu. Is it Jaimin Hansu? Jaimin Hansu is the guy who the clones are all based on.
Is it?
The actor?
Sure.
Is his name? I think his name's Jaimin Hansu. It means based... Or Tamoy Morrison, that's his name.
That's it, yeah.
Jaimin Hansu is the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy and in Aquaman and everything.
Yes, Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond, yeah. Tamoy Morrison means he's going to get another role playing an older clone. But yeah, it's going to be about like Vader's search and his hunt for him. And we're also going to get some flashbacks apparently. So Hayden Christensen is going to be in the Clone Wars armor that Anakin has. You know, the more armored version and everything.
Now
that's pretty cool.
I wonder. Remember, this was supposed to start filming at the start of this year, and then Disney Plus just like overhauled the whole project.
Yeah,
I wonder if this is completely new.
Yes, exactly. Maybe they threw out the old script and everything.
Because remember, Ewan McGregor was like, "No, this is good, guys.
Yeah,
this is good news.
Yeah,
they're literally just perfecting it.
Yeah,
but it sounded like they did a complete overhaul.
Yeah, you know what? I'd say what they thought initially. They got a script and they started reading it, and this is me projecting.
Okay,
this
go
couldn't
ahead.
be right, but they read it and went, "This is too small fry. We'll let you go bigger than this, and then you involve Vader and all this other stuff."
But what's weird is they obviously got to certain stages of pre-production before they went, "Oh, hold up, actually."
Yeah.
So I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like did someone new come on board?
Maybe what I'm describing is the old plot. You never know.
I feel like Dave Filoni came in and went, "Guys, you can't do that.
Yeah,
there's a better story here.
There is a better story there."
That's probably completely wrong, but I like that guy.
I like that guy too.
And I like his influence on all the Star Wars stuff.
Me too. I've liked his influence for a while, and to know that we're getting Clone Wars Anakin instead of movie Anakin is great. Hopefully Hayden Christensen can pull off
an
acting role. I don't think he's the problem.
Is he a plumber now? I think he's a plumber now. Or is it electrician? I always get that wrong.
He's working on that Jumper sequel that everyone wants.
Yeah.
I actually really like that movie.
I actually kind of would watch that too.
Anyway, I think he Hopefully, I think the problem with Hayden Christensen was always the dialogue, and he wasn't that good of an actor to be able to pull it off the same way that Ewan McGregor was.
Yeah.
So
Absolute
hopefully,
professional was like, okay, I'll do my best.
I'll make this fucking work. Yeah. Don't you worry. So hopefully now, when he's given better dialogue, apparently, I mean, if George isn't writing it, it's probably better dialogue. Listen, let's be honest. But I'm excited to see this. I think this will be good. And I didn't say this at the top because I only thought of it as we were going through there. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Kenobi.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And also, can you remember when like production shut down and everyone freaked out and Ewan McGregor was cool as shit about the whole thing? He was like, guys, relax. We're just making it better. And he was so cool.
He's so cool.
He was the voice of reason.
Yeah, he's like, why are you so worried about this?
We're only making it better.
Yeah.
So you relax.
Also, he's one of the other people on the board of straight to series crushes, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor's excellent.
Yeah, he's awesome. So, I mean, I've only heard good things about this so far. I'm only excited about Kenobi so far.
After Ewan McGregor calmed me down, I was like, I feel like an idiot now. Yeah. Okay, I'm so on board for this.
And The Mandalorian is just amazing. We can't wait for season 2 of that. Hopefully
it's getting close.
It is getting close.
October supposedly.
Well, we need a trailer first.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out soon.
Fingers crossed. But
fingers and toes crossed.
Fingers, toes, knees,
eyes crossed,
cocks crossed, eyes crossed, everything. Yeah, that's the straight to series way.
This is the way.
This is the way. But yeah, there has only been good Star Wars TV since Disney Plus came out, so hopefully that continues the trend. That's all I wanted to say. And that's it.
Yeah, but we do Hunk and Skunk?
Yes, let's do Hunk and Skunk.
What's the hunk and what's the skunk? Oh shit, we can't give the hunk the...
Don't worry, I know who to give it to instead.
Okay, please. Educate
Aaron
me.
Taylor Johnson.
Done. Quicksilver himself.
Oh,
yes.
Ives.
100% gets it. Ives.
Ives in Tenet. He is the hunkiest hunk we've seen this week.
That beard, his attitude... He has so much fun on screen. He pops. He jumps out. You're like, hey, I'm having fun for a second.
He's there. He's big dick energy personified.
Also, he doesn't really have to explain that much.
He's
not coming up and going, oh, well, here's notes on this and that. Yeah. He's just like, hey, I'm having fun.
Even when John David Washington in the movie tries to get him to explain shit, he's like, hey,
man, you know this shit.
Hey, dummy, you know this shit, okay?
Come on.
Yeah, come on. We're going to do something cool. And it's like, I'm with you, Aaron. Yeah. This is going to be great. Aaron Taylor Johnson gets hunk this week.
Yeah, we definitely should have given it to Chadwick Boseman. No regret.
Shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I know.
Honorary hunk
of
obviously,
this year, of 2020.
Hunk of all time.
Yeah.
You're in the Hunk Hall of Fame. Chadwick Boseman.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Wakanda forever. I hate when white guys say that, but Wakanda forever.
I know.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You were an amazing part of our lives, everyone's lives. You've touched more people than you could ever know, and will continue to touch them throughout the years as Black Panther and Storm and Norman and all the other roles. Ray. No, he wasn't Ray. Sorry, he was James Brown. James Brown.
That was it. I've never seen that movie.
Neither have I. I heard it's very good.
Really good reviews.
Yeah. So Chadwick, and then Skunk. Kenneth Branagh.
Sure, why not?
What were you thinking there?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking of anyone except for Christopher Nolan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know, and that's blasphemy. But
no, Christopher Nolan. You heard us, Christopher. You heard us.
Whoa.
You heard us.
It's going to be ringing through his ears for the rest of his life now.
Christopher, we did everything. We went to the cinema. We saw it in 35mm.
We bought popcorn.
We were so hyped on this movie. We've been hyping everyone up. We even recommended it to people who probably should never have gone to this movie.
Sorry, Jerry. We're so sorry.
Jerry. We're so sorry.
He's still not talking to us.
And Chris, you only made a good movie, which is not what we expect of you.
No. Back to the drawing board.
So, Chris... Unfortunately, and you're going to stop retweeting us and coming to our parties, but you are Skunk of the Week this week on Straight to Series, and I never thought I'd say that.
I know, deserved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is deserved.
Sorry about you.
Yeah, and I can only say, much like today, it has been a day of disappointments.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, we're going to leave you with that.
Yeah, what a bum note.
What a bum note to end on. Charlie Kaufman Chronicles. Get excited about it.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Let's do it.
So we will see you for the CKCs next week.
I like it.
Yeah,
very nice.
Thank you. And we hope you all stay safe during the virus that not be named. We hope if you go see Tenet, you enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
I
if
hope
not,
so.
tell us about it. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear other people's opinions on it.
Yeah, other people other than Jerry.
I quite like listening to his
I
opinion
do like
on it.
his unfiltered opinion.
Yeah, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
See you then.
Bye-bye.